family, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, better late than never. All that matters is that you're here. Now, earlier we were speaking to Anna from Incredible Edibles, right? And I was mentioning that this is the time where our youth should step up and be great and, of course, venture out into new things. And what better way now than to kick off this segment with Stacy from NYC. So I'm just going to allow her, to introduce herself, and then we'll definitely take it from there. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. I am Stacey El Valafi. I am the Public Relations Officer for the St. Lucia National Youth Council.
Awesome. All right, Stacey. So we're just going to jump straight into it. Now, 2020 has been a difficult year, right? How have you guys been? What have you guys been up to in 2020, despite, all that's happening with the coronavirus and this pandemic?
2020 has had many challenges, especially as it relates to youth activities, because, with youth, we love to get to be together. And a lot of these activities had to be put on hold. And again, a lot of youth, in particular, they now unemployed. A lot of them as well now have the challenge of having to probably study online because everything is now virtual. And so what we did was we put together a Pledge for a Child campaign to raise funds for students who are struggling, as well as a Christmas drive to assist underprivileged youth who are unable to just get the basic groceries, especially during the Christmas season.
And that's what you guys have been doing for 2020. So now we're going to forget about 2020 because 2020 sapabo, and we're going to talk about 2021. So what are the plans that the National Youth Council has for the body?
As it relates to plans for 2021, there are many things in place, especially as it relates to women. There is the I Am Woman campaign that we're hoping to launch in 2021. There is also the drive that we're hoping to have as it relates to education and just encouraging young people to maintain the protocol, even though things may seem like it's not as bad as it used to be. So we're partnering with our district youth and sports councils, especially those in all throughout the region, to just get them to encourage the youth in their communities to basically remain on guard and just follow the protocols and ensure that the guidelines are adhered to.
Now, my question to you is, with the NYC, for those of us who may not know the National Youth Council, what is the sole purpose of you guys?
The sole purpose of the National Youth Council is basically to be a voice for youth and to be that kind of body which could support youth and get them to achieve those things that the naysayers, basically main people in society, are saying to them that it can't be achieved. So for example, we're like the advocates for especially youth who may feel like they're marginalized, I should say, or youth which have had injustices done towards them, as well as youth which are suffering, or youth which don't have the opportunity to be able to get to places on their own. As it relates to the grassroots youth, we're mainly here to build them as it relates to programs and different workshops and so on that could help build them and build the character in them to help them be model citizens. So one of our main events as it relates to seminars and workshops is the Caribbean Youth Conference, which is normally referred to as CYC. And with CYC, the aim is to bring young people all throughout the region in that one place where we could build on our capabilities as well as to network. So youth from St. Lucia get to meet with youth from Trinidad and so on. And it's just that opportunity for young people to realize that there is nothing that you cannot do, basically. And there are a series of training and so on, as well as an area where you could pitch ideas to help solve different issues that young people are facing.
So for those teens, preteens, or youth who may want to be actively involved in the NYC, how do they go about doing that?
So it starts very young, and as I mentioned earlier on with the National Students Council, so it could start from primary school, and we're now looking towards having students councils at all primary schools and the secondary schools.
Now, this one is a personal question for you, Stacey. What drives you into becoming or, playing an active role within the committee and within the association of the Youth Council?
For me, the National Youth Council was an organization which really built me. I was never one who was an outdoorsy person, and so in 2014 I decided I would try something new, and I saw this advertisement on the National Youth Council's page about a camp that they were hosting, and that was Camp Kalinago. So I said, you know what, I would just try it, and I went out. I think at that time it was there was Shalom, Chad, and quite a few other young leaders there, and in just being in that environment with them, I really liked the vibe. I really liked the atmosphere. I liked how they were able to encourage each other in such an informal setting. And in being with them, I got the opportunity to take part in other activities such as the Lucian Leaders Summit, which is a camp, a 1-week camp for student leaders, and it builds them in such an amazing way. And even in there, I met other young people such as Ajani, who at that time was a student, and now we can see how much he has grown. And so it just encourages me that if I can do my part to build on young people, then I will do as much as I can to ensure that I give back as well. Another thing is that I have 2 young boys, and I believe if at this point in time we ensure that policies are adhered and changes are made to ensure that our society is one which is sufficient enough, I would say, or just promotes youth who are able to be great, then I believe it will be a place that is going to ensure that my boys and other young people similar to them would be able to achieve their dreams.
Any plans for an outreach program in the future? I know right now we're all about social distancing and sanitizing and, the new normal of mask wearing, but do you guys see an outreach program coming pretty soon, to maybe visit homes, that sort of a...
Well, as it relates to visiting homes, I think it's something that we're really, children's homes. It's something that it's really tricky right now because you really want to go out there and do so much, but you don't want to be, since you're a leader, you don't want to be the ones who are breaching the guidelines and so on. And then you're being told that, yes, you're telling me to do this and you're doing something opposite. However, I believe we will try our best to be creative. We're trying to be very creative with it, in that we will see how best we can achieve that, reach these students and reach these children and these young people as well. Because we also know that even within the youth group, we have young people who are disabled, young people with disabilities, my apologies. And we also have a lot of young people as well who are unable to be in forums or to be in workshops because a lot of them have the stigma attached to organizations like the National Youth Council, in that they believe it's something for the elite or something that is just about whether or not you probably have a good job or you're from a well-off family. But mainly what we're trying to do right now, and I think with COVID, while it's training us, a lot of our activities now have to be virtual. And so what we're trying to do now is to get young people to see that the National Youth Council is really one that is there for every young person.
Now, since we're wrapping up, just quickly give us your social handles, because you did mention seeing an ad from their social pages. So go ahead and share that with us so, we too can follow and be informed with the movements of the Youth Council.
So our social media handles are NYC St. Lucia. That is both on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, there you have it, guys. A quick, nice little catch up with Stacey from the NYC. But don't go too far, guys. We'll be right back for more of This Morning on your number one leader 2021.